Welcome, lovely people. Today I am going to show you my spring furnished base. So let's go have a look, shall we? This is the front foyer, I suppose it would be called. I've incorporated some items that are not spring, obviously, to make it look a little more, I don't know, ancient gardeny, for want of a better way to explain or describe it. I need to pull out a little bit, I'm a little close. And I've got some items that are like planters, and then some that are the ones that are growing out of the walls or the ground, like the tree branches you can see just there. I've got the fountains coming out of the wall as well on each side. I really like this. I kind of stole this idea from someone else, having a room that's just full of overgrown vines. I thought it looked really cool, and I was like, I'm gonna try that. I love it so much, and I do. It looks great. And over here, this is actually a section that just had kind of leftover pieces put in here, and this as well is not from spring. But I really like this part here with all the the waterfalls coming down into the ponds. And this is, yeah, just items that I had spare. You can kind of tell because the walls are not really matching, but it's what I had, so that's what I did. And I tried to keep the branches like cohesive. Like over here, we have the cherry blossom. So I tried to put cherry blossoms together and keep the green together. I did break away from that a little in some locations, which you will see soon enough. But let's go up here. Oh yeah, I put the all the flower colors all along here, so that anyone who visits my base can collect it on their way through, potentially to throw flour at each other, which sounds like a lot of fun. Although I don't know that many people will be coming to my base, but I still build them pretty anyway because I really like them. I put a nice tree over the top of my respec station, and I covered the walkway with grass. It's firefly grass, so it's all sparkly, which I really like. And then got the vines that are hanging on that wall. I keep getting the mushroom in the way. Facing outwards so that it looks like from inside the foyer you have vines hanging from really high up. At least that's what I was hoping it would look like, and I think it does. And then down this side it's the same thing, but down this end I've used a cherry blossom tree to cover up the broca, and I've done something with water here, which I thought looked really pretty. I really like the water stuff in this furniture sets that you can get. I had the topiaries as well. I'm not a huge fan of these. They look a little too structured. I like it to look a little bit more like a forest, but I had them, so I used them. And the glowing mushroom as well. I have a section where I put those, but I had leftovers, so it came out here. That actually goes for this tree as well. I had a spare, so it came out here. I actually have, and yeah, that does not come from the spring set. That is from the mana pack that I got when I purchased this property or base. So inside this hallway, I've done something on the ceilings that I'm not sure people are going to like. I like it because I think it makes it a little more immersive and seems like it really is overgrown, which is hanging these from the ceiling, so that when you're walking through, I should zoom back in here. When you're walking through, it feels a little bit more like there are actual vines and branches and moss above you. And as long as you keep your camera below that section or behind your character rather than above, like this, like some people have, um, it shouldn't be in the way while you're walking through. And what I was trying to do in this area was specifically make it look like a scientist maybe had been here and was experimenting, because we had this overgrown like science lab table thing that you could get. I had some eggs, and I thought, what if I combined the armories that I have for this character, which is a plant character, quite obviously, and it looked like she was the experiment. So they've experimented over here, they've failed, or maybe they succeeded, I don't know. And this is what resulted. Like they have these three different forms that look like human cross insect, I suppose. I don't know. It's what I was going for, and I thought the aquarium kind of tied in with that. Like you could use the DNA from something that is from there. I don't know, but that's what I was going for. And yeah, I've got the skeletons in here too, with the vines growing through them as though they've died in here. Also, all of the skulls on the ground, like failed experiments that have died and covered in moss, and now this scientist or whoever was in here has just let them get overgrown. So that's kind of what I was going for. I hope it translates without me explaining it because now I've explained it. Anyway, we'll go through here. All right, so this section is where I put all of my glowing mushrooms. I really like them. They're really pretty, but I did spread them out a little bit for a couple of reasons. One, I wanted them to be in a like a largish area, not all confined to one spot. And two, because they kind of cover up any of those, when the grass has that section where it overlaps with the other grass right at the edge of it, it's a little brown. So it kind of covers that up. So you can see where I'm standing here, there's brown under my feet. And over here, there was brown, but now there is not because I put this over the top. So it's partially to cover up a bit of that. And then the mushrooms, glowing mushrooms on the wall over here too. So they kept going around in this section. I tried to kind of make it seem like you're flowing through areas that have different plants happening, but I didn't get it 100% because I couldn't get every single piece of furniture that I wanted, which is fair. You never do on your first year for Halloween, but I did, sorry, for spring. What am I saying? I did try to make it so that as you walked through the base, you kind of go from area to area with different plants starting to grow. So you'll notice there's not any cherry blossom in this area. That's intentional because I'm trying to make it look like the mushrooms grow here and not elsewhere and things like that. So I don't know. I thought it made sense to me. I really love this bed, this area. It's like it's got this wall going across with the vines coming up. That's the newest, one of the newer items from spring that just passed. And I used some of the mystical items because I thought they looked really good in this area, and it kind of seems mystical. I really love that behind the bed head as well, so that you can see the moon. And over here, I've got a waterfall. I like using these doors to disguise things. So this is disguising my teleporter. So you walk up to a door, literally, to teleport out of here, which I thought was quite cool. And I really like those doors too. They look like they're going to lead to somewhere fun or really mystical, which is, again, a good reason that there is mystical furniture surrounding it. And the mushrooms too, I feel kind of fit with that. I also use some of these items because they glow. I know they're not from spring, but they are a planter, and the glowing, I was like, I'm putting that with this because it'll match, it'll go with the mushrooms at least. And I do think it worked. It stands out quite nice. I also have overlapped these, so I don't know if you can tell, but at the bottom of these windows, I have put the little waterfall planter things that go on the wall so that the waterfall is quite a bit bigger, and I've overlapped them but separated them slightly so that the water coming out looks quite substantial even from a distance. So I'm really happy with those. I like the knotted willow tree trunk as well. I really wish they had a actual willow tree, so the trunk going up and then maybe something that almost reaches the ceiling with all these vines coming down. I think that would look really beautiful. It'd probably be quite a large item. I don't know if other people would like it, but I would really love that. I really like willow trees. They're my favorite tree. Oh yeah, I used some of the planters and things through here because I didn't want them to go to waste, and I had quite a few, and I did the same thing again with the vines hanging from above. And then this is where I ran out of grass, obviously. This is the only section, though, I think, where I feel like it's kind of incomplete or missing something. But I kind of like it as well. It does almost seem like you've walked into a hidden room that's actually meant to look like this. So I quite like that about it too. So I have another armory here, and again, I have disguised a salvage station over here with a door to make it look like you can travel somewhere. And around here, I've got these walls in place so I could create another bedroom, which has a similar thing going on the wall there with the moon. I really like that a lot, which is why it's happened twice. But the room's furniture is quite different. It's not mystical. It's all the wooden looking ones, which I thought looked quite good in here as well. There's a little bit, two bits and pieces over here that definitely aren't from spring, but they still, I thought, looked good and matched. And I did accidentally actually get that aquarium. I collected one on this character for my section that I showed you earlier, where I've got the scientist area. And I accidentally collected another one thinking I hadn't got it yet. So I thought, all right, well, I think it'll make sense in here, and I actually like it. I'm pretty happy with it there. So I've got to remember to check what I have before I start collecting things again. And then over here, I've got two more armories just against the wall. I don't know that they're very well located. I just kind of wanted to keep them in here because this one is in here. And I don't want it to intrude upon the areas where I've put a lot of the spring furniture and I have it looking really nice. I didn't want those in there. Because I already have it looking exactly how I want it to. Now we have choices to make. Do we go to the Bat Cave or do we go through the doorway there? Let's do the Bat Cave. Because I think that's kind of going all the way to the back of the property and then we'll come back out the other way to the front. It makes sense to me. All right, there's not a lot going in the hallway. There's just this grass patch on the ground. I have actually run out of anything to be able to put on the walls in there. Otherwise, I probably would have put some vines or something. But this is my bat cave. It is full of cherry blossom. And I do realize this is one of those areas, right, where I said I did break away from what I was trying to do a little bit because you can see the green branches up in the sky there, up on the ceiling. I say sky because it's looking through to the sky, so it makes sense to me. But I didn't have a choice really because the branches are green whether I want them to be or not, and I wanted the skylight to the moon to be in this room because this is the main room that I set up with spring things. I actually kind of started in here, and then whatever was left over went elsewhere. So this was my favorite spot, and I really wanted to have those windows in here because I think they're so beautiful. So I put them in, even though the cherry blossoms is what I was going for in here, because I like the way they fall, the little petals from the ceiling. So yeah, I realize how I sound. So the ground down here, you can see I've got just normal grass, and it swaps over when you get to this section to the firefly grass. But over here it goes flowers, and over here it goes flowers with butterflies. I think it starts to progress over to butterflies. And here is where I always put my bank. Um, so every manor house that I have, you'll see that in the same place. In fact, you'll see all of them in the same place. It's so that I don't have to think about it. I always just know where to go no matter which base I am in. And I did another bed in here. It's a mystical green bed. I actually wasn't going to put one here, but I had this elsewhere to start with, and then I got the bed that I wanted and had to move this one. So I didn't want to remove it completely. So I thought, all right, well, I'll pop it over here. Someone can, sleep outdoors that's indoors because it's a cave next to a pond and a bank. But I still do like it there, even though it doesn't look like an actual bedroom. And if you really do pay attention, it kind of looks like I just put it there, which is exactly what I did. But I've got little pieces of furniture from spring all the way along here. Some of them are a little hidden. But I really love putting these tree trunks with the cherry blossom branches across the wall here. It looks, I don't know, sweet, which doesn't really sound like me. Here I am with my character all in black, wearing Halloween wings and a skull belt. And I'm talking about how I like things to look sweet. I do for the spring things. Anyway, I've got I remember that. That's the corpse flower, I believe. If you get nice and close to that, you can actually see flies buzzing around it, I'm pretty sure. Maybe not. Is it the wall one maybe that does that? Or maybe my game is just sucking at the moment and not going to show us. But that's a good thing. Who wants to see flies? Actually, I wanted to see the flies. That's the feature of that flower. Anyway, you keep going around here. As you come further around here, you can see her cat is over there, just chilling out in the grove. I guess it's kind of like a grove. You can see I've also used some of the larger flowers that you can get also not from spring. That one on the left is pink. That one is considered to be red, but I don't think it looks red. That's just what it's called. I think it just looks like a yellow base pink, and that is a blue base pink. And then I've got another mystical door. This one actually I put here to end the continuation of the wall, so I didn't have a gap going through to the cave. So it was placed there because I had to and not because it's actually what I wanted there. But then when I put it there, I was like, yeah, yeah, I like it there actually. And then I've disguised my mailbox with another giant tree. Then if we go this way, so I've been told by visitors to this base that the Batcave is very disorienting and they can't keep track of where they are. I said, just turn the screen until you see the mailbox and then you'll know where you are. But over here is where I've built a whole room. So there's like an archway, also not from spring, and a fire, also not from spring. You come around here, I've got a wall coming out so that you can have a little sitting area, which I thought was quite cute. That chair as well, not from spring. Now we can't see it. That chair there, it's really cool. The back of it looks like a tree trunk. It looks like it's carved from a stump. I think it might be called something stump, but I don't remember. This is the bed that I wanted. I didn't think I was going to get it. It's really, really rare to find in the broker. I don't know how you get it otherwise.
You get it by completing Justice League Dark Fellowship of the Arcane in Elite.
I love it. I saw it online. I was like, I'm never going to get that. It's so nice. The colors are like interesting together. The pink kind of goes with the cherry blossoms. I like the contrast, and the orange kind of goes with the flower on the table just there. See the orange? So I really wanted to get it. And then I got it and I was shocked and I love it so much. So that's in here as my like favorite bedroom in this house. I just think it's so pretty. And I've got the rainfall in here too. So not that you would really want to sleep in here because you would get very wet and the grass is kind of spiking through the bed there. I may change the grass in this room. I just couldn't at the time. Once I built it all and moved everything, I was a little bit stuck because I ran out. No furniture, no currency, and spring was over. So this is what I have. But I still really love the way it looks and the way it feels. It's kind of like, can something be both dreary and also sweet at the same time? Because that's how it feels to me, sweet and dreary. Anyway, let's head out of the Bat Cave and we'll go to the last space, which is just around here on the left. So we've got another little walkway which has the vines again and a door this time. And I believe this is just two pieces that I had left over that I put on the walls, but I like them, or rather in front of the walls. They don't actually go on a wall. All right, let's go through. So we've got another pond, actually a couple of ponds, and on the right there we have a nest, which again is not from spring, but it goes well with spring, and the eggs as well, just there that match. I thought this looked really nice and would suit it. I actually got this towards the end of spring. I was like trying very hard to get this nest. Or either of them I would have been happy with, but this one I had already got these eggs for. So I'm glad I got this nest. But it looks really good. And then we've got the ponds over here where I have the Venus flytraps. This guy moves and he is hiding my vendor just there. And then there's the smaller Venus flytrap here, which I think is funny because I think it's called a giant Venus flytrap, and that one is way more massive. Um, but that one also looks like it's been the DNA has been mixed up with something a little more active, as it like moves its all of itself. Oh, except it's stopped now. Then there's a wall coming through here. So if you go around the wall, we've got this section here, which is just a nice pond with waterfall, and it's got the moon window up there. I love these. In fact, if I can get a better shot for you so you can see the moon. Isn't it pretty? I really like the moon. I took so many pictures of my character standing somewhere in front of the moon in Cursed, and now here I am like, isn't the moon so lovely? People must be getting sick of hearing my voice. At the moment, I am sick of hearing my voice because it does not sound like me at all. It sounds croaky. But I don't have much option. I can't make it stop. I put the telescope in here as well because I thought it was a good idea to make it look like someone has been looking up through the skylight there and looking at the moon or the stars or something. I did pull it, I had it in the right angle, so I originally had it further back, but then it looked too far away, like kind of sticking in this section where you're supposed to walk rather than up in a section where you're supposed to do something. So I moved it in and just thought, no one will notice. And now I've pointed it out, so that's really clever of me. Then over here, we've got like a little room, sort of, it's like hidden behind the nest, so kind of works as a room. And in here, I've got a little sitting area. I've got more cherry blossom above it so that the petals are falling over where you can sit and eat. And then again, another doorway that leads to nowhere, but we don't have to tell anybody that. They can think it goes somewhere and I've just locked it. I'm hiding my secrets in there. There's no way my secrets would fit in there. All right, so this hallway is a little more irritating maybe than the other hallway, because the vines I have in here are all this kind and not the ones that I have in the other room. So they hang longer, or rather the other hallway. So if you have the camera down behind your character like this, it's not a problem again, and you can walk through and see everything. And I've got all the red mushrooms through here, over near my sparring target. But again, if you pull the camera up too high, you're going to have this problem and only see the green in the way of your camera. So as long as the camera's pulled down, you're fine and can walk through just easily. And then we come back out to the front of the house and we are done. That is my spring plant base on Xbox. If anyone else has done this, please let me know. I would love to see. Okay. Bye, guys.